Hello everyone, DonTheCrown here, and we need to talk about one of the aspects that they're adding to Diablo IV Season 5, because they took it from being really strong to being unbelievably, incredibly, overpoweredly, stupid, ridiculous levels, and that is the aspect of creeping death. So what this does, and this is a brand new aspect, this hasn't been in the game yet before, this is something that was only in the PTR, and originally this number only went up to 20. So dot damage is increased by 30 to 50% for each different crowd control effect on the target. And unstoppable monsters and staggered bosses automatically take 90 to 150% bonus dot damage. This is ludicrous. So first off, this number and this number will get doubled if you put it on a two-hander. So you can get 100% basically double damage for each crowd control effect on the target. And then bosses will take 300% multiplicative damage while they're staggered. And then unstoppable elites get the same thing. That is just so crazy to me. Absolutely crazy to me. Now, I know it says unstoppable monsters. So I'm hoping that this means that this won't work in PvP. Because otherwise, yeah, that's a lot of damage. Now, what exactly is a crowd control effect? Now, in Diablo, it's very lucky that we have some really good tooltips on this because it'll tell you exactly what it means by crowd controlled. If you hover over it in the game, you'll see that it means slow, immobilize, stun, knock back, knock down, taunt, fear, tether, daze, chill, or freeze. Now, we have access to all of these different crowd control effects with the exception of tether as a player. And I did a little chart here to kind of show you who has what. And so we can see that basically everybody has access from tempering to slow, immobilize, stun, and freeze. It's just something you can get as a lucky hit thing. Pretty easy to get. Chill, everybody can get this from Penitent Greaves. Obviously, Rogue and Sword can do cold damage. I believe Necromancer can actually probably do chill as well. And so, yeah, this is access to everybody with the Penitent Greaves, though, at least. Daze is an aspect, so everybody has access to that as well. Rogue has a ton of days in their kit. And then knockback, and knockback is probably a little bit less accessible, mostly because like I think it only works while they're moving. But Barbarian has a bunch of access to this. Necromancer has Blood Wave. Druid has a ton of these, especially the boulder spinning build, just constantly nonstop knocking back enemies. It's probably one of the few builds that's consistently knocking back enemies. And then Rogue can also knock them down, knock them back. They can also knock them down. Druids can knock enemies down as well. The only people that have access to taunt are Barbarians and Rogues, thanks to one of their rings. And then everybody that can wield the Butcher's Cleaver gets Fear. I believe Necromancer also has it now in their kit, thanks to Howl from Below. So Corpse Explosion fears and slows enemies for up to 0.6 seconds. So they have access to that as well. And like I said, nobody has access to tether. I believe this is just from like NPC or something like that. I'm not really sure where this comes from. Now, what this means is that the Barbarian has access to about 9 different crowd controls. Necromancer has 8, Druid and Rogue both have 9, and then Sorcerer has 6. Now you might think that, oh man, 6, that seems pretty low for Sorc there. But that's doesn't really matter, because when the aspect gives you up to 100% additional damage, that means that on the low end, you're getting a 600% damage multiplier if you can apply all of the things that the Sorc can do. So we're looking at slow, immobilize, stun, freeze, chill, and daze. All of these, I think, are relatively easy for a Sorc to apply. They don't really need to do anything like really out of the way to make this happen. And that is just so much damage. Like, I think Firewall builds are really just going to be super popping off this season because of this. It's probably going to be like one of those strongest builds because you're going to be able to slap this on your two-hander, not really losing anything in particular. There's no like real legendaries for Flame Wall, that Firewall that you're really competing with. And so it's just going to be incredibly strong. And you can use a lot of lucky hit stuff. But you already want to do lucky hit with that particular skill because it procs more walls to pop up. And so you can get those slows, immobilize, stuns, and freezes going. And it's just going to be insane. Now, I said this possibly gives you a little bit of interest into doing this as a group thing as well, because think about the fact that now they've changed how pits are going to work. Previously, when you did a pit, if you opened up the pit, you would get 100% of all of the resources, while all of your friends that are in the group, the other 3 people, would only get 50%. They've changed that, so now everybody is going to be getting the same amount of resources. So you could potentially go some sort of rogue build, because, you know, rogues have a lot of access to a lot of crowd control in their stuff, and they could just be spamming out stuns and freezes and slows and knockdowns and dazes, just fully locking down enemies, while you have people that are focused on doing damage, especially damage over time, just like laying down tons of flame walls, laying down incinerates. You have like a poison rogue build, bleed barbarians, all sorts of crazy stuff. Like necromancers have a lot of damage over time. Druids have a little bit of damage over time as well. I think this is going to be just absolutely insane. This aspect, I don't understand why they buffed this so much. I was already planning on making this video from the information that we had from the season, where it was like 20% damage. I was like, wow, at 40% damage, this could be a huge multiplier. But now it's 100% damage is just way too much, man. It's absolutely insane. I'm really looking forward to see what we could do with this. I'm hoping it doesn't take over the entire meta. However, it just might. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And yeah, come by the stream. Later.